Hey everybody, Dan Warby with Keller Williams, West Ventura County here. Hope your week's going great. I wanted to take a second and talk to you guys about some changes to California's property taxes that are going to be on the ballot in the next election. Specifically, what was Prop 5 in the last election. This is a proposition that was on the ballot in 2018 but got voted down. The first version would have allowed older homeowners, 55 or over, to transfer their lower property tax base when they buy more expensive homes, and as many times as they want. Right now, you can only do that once, and only within the county or a cooperating county, and only when the new home is of the same or lower value than the current home. The idea is that older homeowners don't sell because they don't want to incur a big tax hit. And by eliminating that, we would see over 40,000 more sales in a year. This would really help with the big inventory crunch that we're seeing, and allow new homeowners to get on the property ladder earlier. Opponents back in 2018 did point out that a lot of our tax revenue for schools and public services are dependent on property taxes. So there's a few changes in the current initiative that the backers hope will mitigate that a bit. First, commercial buyers would be barred from the tax break. Personally, I think this is pretty interesting because it would eliminate a big market disruption from speculators being drawn more and more into the market. Another change is that instead of unlimited transfers, you'd be limited to 3, but the upside is that you could transfer your tax base anywhere in the state. Also, non-primary properties, vacation homes, rentals, that kind of thing, would be reassessed at market value when transferred from parent to child or grandparent to grandchild. That sounds like kind of a big deal, but there's a big caveat to that, and it's that the first million of value is exempt from reassessment. So since the average home price for the county is about $650,000, that wouldn't affect the majority of sellers. And finally, if you have your property held in a trust or other legal entity and the ownership changes 90%, it would be reassessed at market value as well. And you can't really break that up, that change in ownership up, to get around that, because it would get reassessed if the change in ownership occurs in a single transaction or over a 5-year period. So as it stands now, a legal entity's property is only reassessed when one person or entity acquires more than 50% ownership. So how likely is all this really to happen? Well, in 2018, the state's legislative analysis estimated that when Prop 5, if it were to pass, would lead to a decrease in tax revenue of about $2 billion. But with the changes to the new initiative, they say it will actually be a net increase to tax revenue. So that's important because going into this year, we were sitting on a great economy and a pretty fat state budget surplus. But after COVID, we're looking at a very different picture. So initiatives that decrease tax revenue are probably dead on arrival. But now that the new initiative is showing that it can increase revenue, it stands a much better chance. So we'll have to keep an eye on the polling going forward to November to see how this all plays out. But definitely something to think about. Hope all that helps. If you need any more information, give me a ring or a shout, and I'd be happy to have a chat with you about it. Hope you all have a great rest of your week.